So, okay, cool. Let's go to the second topic, which is how do you prioritize your accounts based on smart triggers and precise triggers? This is more about timing, but also more about actually knowing the accounts you're targeting, right? So, I mean, just to give you an example, today, what people do is, they just go to Apollo or Zoom Info. They just have a basic filter of like 2,000 to 5,000 employees, and like using this technology and using some very basic intent data, like they are searching for sales tools, right? And now you just have a list of 10,000 prospects, and you put them in a template, and you bam bam, like all of those emails are gone and you get zero replies, right? So, how can we look at account prioritization in a different way, such that we have the highest chances of hitting the timing right, and come across as genuinely knowing a buyer's problem? How can we solve that?
I, I'll start, Hamish. I'll
Go for it.
speak from a mid-market to enterprise type sale. For me, less is more. I've been doing this for 16 plus years, and even when I was a rep, I always felt like I never had enough territory. I never had enough opportunity. Like I'd be like, one year I'd have 400 accounts. The next year I'd have 200. I'd be like, you cut it in half. I'm not gonna hit my number, but I was able to hit my number. And as I kept growing in my career, the less accounts that I got and the more success I had because I call it narrowing your focus, go narrow to go wide. I would much rather have a list of 20 accounts that fit my ideal client profile. And for those that don't know what that is I'll look at all the customers that we've sold over time. How do they look alike? Go find other customers that look like them because I know that we have success there. And tier accounts, we use an ABC model. A is, hey, this is my top 20, 25 folks accounts where I'm going to spend 80% of my time knowing what the org chart is, knowing what their problems are, knowing what they're focused on. B's are could be still good fits. However, maybe they're in a long-term contract, not a chance for them to leave anytime soon. And then think of C's as like your practice. Like you've got a new script that you want to go work on, and you want to go make a new cold call. Go call some C's and make some mistakes because it doesn't really matter. They're not really great fits. Maybe one will turn over in the time that you're in the territory, but use those as practice. Spend most of your time on your A's.
Oh,
Great.
I love it. I love it. I personally think that you should have way less accounts in your like ICP list. I reckon no more than 100. The reason being, I think every account executive, every salesperson, every SDR should be specializing so minutely into an industry, so that they can always, even in a downturn of market, they've got a list of 100 clients that they've got active correspondence with over a period of 6 months to a year. Doing things like, if you're constantly talking to clients, like if we're talking, let's use like Keith's in Keith's world, it's selling to field, like field recruitment firms. So like mid-sized recruitment firms. That's a massive, massive market. But in recruitment firms, you've got healthcare, you've got construction, you've got accounting and finance, you've got tech, you've got marketing, you've got sales, you've got so many. But you want to then niche down even further. And why I always suggest people should niche down, even if they're selling to recruitment firms, sell to just accounting and finance firms with 10 to 40 people that are located in New York. That list will go down to probably 60 to 80 firms. And those firms you just hound. You multi threat those. You find who the different leaders are. If they've got 40 to 60 employees, you've probably got 3, 4 people in senior leadership. Get as many meetings as you can with those. You're then gathering information on all of these different firms, and you just become a knowledge base for those. And it's so much easier to see trends and patterns if you're constantly talking to the same people over and over again, because that information is valuable. Stuff that people can't always find online and can't always find in their outreach, that's the way to do it.
It feels like Hamish is talking like it's 1980s, and you have to basically go and build relationships with all the accounts you want to sell to, because
Ha!
you
I
know,
feel like that's a criticism.
no, I feel like, that's basically the fundamental, right? Like, it's not that, sales, as I said, like, outreach is going to die, but you have to go back to fundamentals. And I believe that because in 1980s and 1990s, getting someone's phone number was not easy. You had to basically call the operator, and you have to first sell the operator to get to first person. Then you have to sell that person, get to the second person. So if you didn't do all of your research, and just like as you are saying, if you didn't hound these accounts and people, you wouldn't, you didn't have a chance, right? And just because now you have the email address of all the people in the company, it is not that you can just skip that fundamental thing of knowing those people, knowing those accounts, and actually learning more and more about those accounts, and basically getting obsessed with these accounts, right? So I feel that it's actually going back to maybe those times. I was not there, but but maybe they did it like that.
Selling to everyone is selling to no one, Rabi. And that's the thing. Like you have to be able to leverage tech, but then leverage the relationship as well. And you have to provide a sense of value to these people. They're getting hit up every day. There's a reason why only 35% of account executives are hitting quota now in tech, because there's too much tech. There's even like 10,000 SaaS companies started this year. Like, it's crazy the amount of solutions that companies have. And so that means the AEs and the SDRs within those new SaaS businesses have to think outside the box. Like, you have to go back.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Keith, you want to add anything, or should we move to the last topic?
I think the last tip I would say on the account prioritization, many of you may know this, but just in case, a lot of people and a lot of leaders will say, well, you got to go to the top. You got to call the C-suite. You got to get in there first, and they'll push you down. I will tell you, that's a great strategy if you can make it work, but you're also greatly diminishing your chances because those people are so busy and there's so many layers in between them. Don't be scared. I like the go low to go high. Every solution that happens within Bullhorn usually starts at the ground level, starts sometimes even at a user level that goes to the manager, then to myself, then to my boss, then to our CRO. It never starts as a CRO, never. So don't be afraid to start to build some alliances down low that can build some influence and get you to other places within the organization.
100%. Like, honestly, if you're cold emailing a CEO or anyone in the C-suite and it's a big enough company, that email is getting seen by the EA.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to end up in a spam folder, or it's probably going to end up getting rejected from the system, and then you have a bad domain. Like, build relationships with peers. Get in that way. Like Keith said, go low to go high. 100% agree.
And this is true. My last question on this is this is true whether you are calling or emailing or doing LinkedIn, right? Like the method doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. Like, honestly, if you're using LinkedIn on a daily basis and you're not connecting with middle management at these firms, whoever you're trying to sell to, you're not connecting to middle management, that's where your champions lie. That's where you're going to get the people that are going to help you push the deal. Then you add a couple of, Erica just said in the chat, individual contributors, 100%. They've got a lot more time on their hands, and they're willing to give you a bit of time.